Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC, out in the Kingdom of the Moorlands, on my land, talking about my favourite piece of content ever, and it is to do with backpacks. But not just any backpack, we are talking next level, god tier, uber ridiculously nice, high-end backpack, and that is the X-type backpack from Code of Bell. So I recently made some content on their X-pod. Loved that thing. If you are a bag nerd like moi, this might very well be the bag for you. There's a lot to talk about. Let's just get straight into it. Now, as we usually do, we'll go through some measurements and some materials, and then we'll have a start to look through the features of the pack themselves. Now, to save some time, because the measurements are very similar, but essentially this is both a 17-litre pack and a 20-litre pack, because it has an area through this mid-centre here that is allowed to increase. Now, there are some flies around today. If you see me wafting, I apologise, it's just all of the flies. So yeah, so in its, let's call it its smallest configuration, which would be having this front section rolled in like this. It's 17 litres, but this does increase the volume by an additional 3 litres should you need it. Now, the way in which this works is very similar to the X-pod, which we'd had a look at before, and it's something that I've seen roll top packs before. Hey, you've all seen roll top packs. This is a roll front pack that increases the size, but you know, we'll get to that bit. As far as the materials on this is concerned, everything genuinely is super high end. The vast majority, especially on the front here, this is made from an EcoPack material. Now, I got this ever so slightly wrong when I did my content on the X-pod, and that I said that it was the X-pak and EcoPack were the same. Now, they're not. They're both made, and this is a correction, they're both made by completely different companies. However, they are both similar fabrics, and that is that if you are aware of what X-pak is, EcoPack is very similar to that. It has all of the same kind of qualities, high abrasion, high kind of resistance to tears. It has a lot of hydrostatic qualities as well, mainly because it's used as a sailcloth on sailing ships. But with EcoPack, the eco part is because it's made from a lot of recycled materials. So if that's something that certainly you're looking for, then you get that with the EcoPack. For all intents and purposes, though, you wouldn't know the difference if you gave this to somebody that was a fan of X-pak and they were like, "Oh, I love the X-pak on the front of this," and you went, "Ah, it's EcoPack." It would be very hard to tell the differences between the two. There are a few different colours of this. There's an all black version, which is really nice, and then there are these additional ones. This is the arid version, where on the front, hopefully you'll be able to see, you've got this nice green, and then on the inside of this fold it has like a tan colour. There's another version where it kind of swaps some of those round, and then there's a version where there's grey on the front and orange in there as well, which is really nice too. All of the hardware on here, again, top notch. All of the webbing is high-end seatbelt style webbing. You've also got these really nice buckles and fidlocks on there, which again, you know, we will have a look as we go through this. Now, I know I've kind of touched on this a little bit on the front, so we might as well start on this. So on the front here, you have these two compression straps, which are completely removable. So should you want to make it look less strappy, then you can take these off. But with it being a kind of setup like this, I find it's useful to keep those on there, mainly because it just adds a little bit more kind of tension on the front. But if you undo these, so I was walking last weekend, hopefully you'll notice that this starts to bellow out, and then you have two other additional clips. So if you did want to take these off, it won't completely just open at the front. You have a clip here at the top, which is a magnetic fidlock, which you just pull that and it springs open. And then on the bottom here, now it's not actually on the bottom, you have to kind of reach under to the back, and then there is more like one of these clips here there, hopefully you can see, and then that pops open. So this will allow you to change it from 17 litres up to 20 litres. So in the front here, now there is on this front zip, in fact all of the external zips, am I right? All of the external zips are AquaGuard, YKK AquaGuard zips. Some of the internal zips are your regular RC YKK zippers. But in the front here, because I was walking last weekend and then also went into the office and it was a little bit wet this week, I have a jacket in there, and then you can see it gives you full access to this internal bit. Now, the best way to have this, rather than hanging it, especially if you're in the office or you've been somewhere, put it down flat like that, and then you can open this up and you can see what's inside. But just to be able to show this off a little bit better, it's nicer when I hang it like this. But if you want to fold this back in again, here is your AquaGuard zip on the front, crease that there. Here is your other magnetic, oh no, that was it, magnetic fidlock. Your one on the bottom here swings under, which is just there on the back, and then you have your compression straps on the front here. I really do like this front pocket because they've thought about how people want to use this and how different people may want to use it in a different way. So if you didn't want to use this and open this at the front like this, maybe if there was something that you knew that was in the back or wherever that was positioned, there are two additional zippers here. So you can pull these down. In fact, I just need to undo this fidlock mainly because it allows it to open at the top. I can pull this down, and hopefully when I had this open you'll have been able to have seen these two pockets in here. So this is that pocket. In fact, I can just kind of open that like that. It's got this really nice high-vis lining in here, which I think is great. Most companies nowadays are using high-vis internal lining, which I think is perfect. Then on the inside you have two pockets. One is a zip pocket, which is more YKK zips, and then you have this really nice mesh on the front so you can still see what's inside. The one that's on the top here, now this doesn't have a zipper on it. And I'm guessing I know why they've done this, because it is perfectly suited. So when I have, the way in which I do mine is I have it zipped up so that both of the zips are here on the top. Now if I then want to get into that pocket that we just looked at, all you have to do is open one of the zips. It wasn't caught, it was human error because I'm all thumbs today. Then that pocket is right here. So if you have your mobile phone, you have your keys, and you want to have something that you can just drop into, quick access, put it into that pocket, and then, you know, put it away, or maybe it's your car keys, then when you zip it up, you're all locked away. I think that pocket inside is perfectly positioned for that. Now there is also an additional quick access pocket here on the front. So just underneath this, now I did make the claim that all of the external zips are AquaGuard. I did remember, I'm sure there's one that isn't, and it's just this one here underneath. The main reason that all of the others are AquaGuard zips is because these are open to the elements. You have two zips here, you have this zip on the side, which is actually kind of the zip on the front. So if you're putting your tech into here, that sort of stuff, it makes sense to have these AquaGuard. This one here isn't AquaGuard, however, you have this little rain flap here over the top of it. So any of the water that comes onto this just runs straight past it. So it makes sense why it isn't. You can unzip this, and then we have more of that high-vis lining. Now what I have in here is the waist zip that comes with this. So it does come with a waist zip. Now it's just a 1-inch webbing waist. Did I say zip? I meant belt. Sorry. You have this 1-inch webbing waist belt. So here on the back there is a loop here and there is a loop here for this to attach. Now it's not going to be the type of belt that is going to be taking any load off, but if it is that you're on a commute, maybe you're cycling into work or something like that, then it's going to help once the bag is on to have that belt closed, so that it gives it a little bit more stability when it's on your back. Additional bit that I like with this as well, it also comes with an additional maglock on here so that you can have your keys on here. I like this, I like the maglock on here mainly because it's just so simple and easy to remove. It's also nice and long as well. It's not a criticism, but it's an observation that I have with a lot of other manufacturers, that they make these really short, so if you want to try and get into your house without taking your keys off, it's a bit of a pain. This is nice and long, and as I mentioned, that's just so much easier to be able to do that. But yes, that sits in this front pocket here. Now, onto the sides. Both of the sides are different on this. On the, let's call this the left-hand side here, you have a pocket which is good for your water bottles. Let's just put that back on there for a second. This is good for your water bottles. Now, I carry this water bottle, take this everywhere with me. This is a litre water bottle, but as you'll see hopefully that it's very tall and very slim, and it fits in perfectly. Your average Coca-Cola bottle, Pepsi, whatever it is that you're drinking, will also fit into here. If you do want to put something in a little bit wider, let's drop that onto the floor a second. So this is one of those wider 750 milliliter Evian bottles. This will also fit into here as well. It actually fits in a little bit better, mainly because it's shorter and just kind of pokes out of the top. It has some elastic here on the back so that when you take this out, it fits, or at least it sits a little bit flatter to the side of your pack, which I think is great. If you're after something a little bit bigger, you know those kind of 1 litre Nalgene style bottles, unfortunately they won't fit in. But this is designed, I mean, you can go out into the countryside. I've done lots of walks with this. Also took this away while I was travelling this year, if you saw the piece of content that I made whilst I was travelling. So this has been to the beach, this has been walking up and down the beachfronts, we've done day trips with this. It's great to keep hydrated. Now on the opposite side, you have 2 pockets on here. The pocket at the top here has a little drawstring on this. So if you need to just drop in any kind of item that you need to have maybe quick access to, this was great while we were away because we all had a suntan lotion in here so that we could just pull it out. You know those little travel size bottles? They're great. Fill them up in the morning. It's all good for a couple of days. You can drop it into here and then pull that tight, and also if you get sand into here, there's a small grommet on the bottom, so it allows some of that dirt and debris and sand to come out. This was really useful whilst we were away. And then underneath that there is an additional pocket, whereas this has a zip on here, and it gives you, I knew my daughters had done that. We were out walking last weekend and we got some Mars bars and I couldn't work out, there was one Mars bar wrapper missing. Anyway, where were we? So it has this side pocket on here. Now the side pocket on the inside does have a small divider in here, so you can see, so you have kind of 2, you can compartmentalize this if you want to. I like this. When I first got this, I didn't realise that there was a secret thing to this. So just remember this pocket, because we will return to this pocket shortly. But yes, really nice. Did also use that quite a bit as well for things like Uno, because we always take Uno with us as well. Now that's not the last pocket on the exterior. There is also a super hidden pocket here on the side. So just behind, take that out for a second, where the water bottle pocket is, there is another zip pocket here. It's quite a common thing that I've found in a lot of bags nowadays. It's very useful, especially this pocket on the front is great. However, if you're in an area where you're concerned about people getting into your backpacks, I talk about this a lot, pickpockets, that sort of stuff, it might be easier to get into this. Whereas this one on the side, if you want to put your mobile phone into here, you want to put your keys, or you know, valuable items, then it's useful to have that because it's very close to you, and somebody would need to be able to get into this, pull this zip out to be able to get into that section, so it's nice that that's there. Now, as far as compartments is concerned, I would still consider this to be a 2-compartment pack. Now, this front compartment we've already had a look at, and that's with that double zip that's there at the top. There is a second compartment within this, which I think would really be considered as a kind of a traditional tech compartment. But before I do, mainly because we also have a grab handle here at the top. This grab handle is made with really nice tubular webbing, and what they've done is they've put some padding in there as well, so you can grab this, you can throw it around. Tubular webbing is great in the fact that because it's tubular, you don't get, well, actually you don't get it on this anyway because this is really good quality webbing, but you don't get those side bits that can often be a little bit abrasive. So that's, again, it's just a really nice little feature. Now behind there, this is where I'm going to call this a traditional style tech pouch. If I just hang this back up for a second. But I'm not going to open this all the way, mainly because I do have some tech stuff in here that I didn't take out from the office the other day. I also have my kneeling mat because I'm going to be out and doing some other stuff. But as this folds down, on the inside you do have a couple of additional storage options in here. So on the right hand side here there is a slip pocket, which again is great just for, I keep my I keep my reading glasses and I keep my pens and pencils and stuff in there because I have a little pencil case. And then on the back here there is a large mesh zip pocket. Now here on the side, if you remember me going, ooh, we're going to come back to this. This pocket here is the same pocket, but what it does is it allows you to access this pocket from the inside as well. I didn't notice that at first. I put something in here and then noticed that it was there, and it kind of made me feel a bit, did I? No. Did I? Yeah, must have. So while this is open, you can see that you can get through to here. I think the main reason for that is it's just little things like saving time. So if you know that you've got something in there, rather than having to go through everything and then being able to find it again, or you can just get it from the inside. I do like that. I think that's a nice little feature that's on there. Then on the opposite side, this is, like I mentioned before, that kind of traditional tech organisation bit. So you have a couple of mesh pockets here which are great for being able to put your wires, your cables, mouse, all of that sort of stuff in there. Then behind these you then also have these additional padded pockets, so if you have something in there that you want to keep separate from all the others but also keep it a little bit more protected, you've got that. And then if you have stylus or styli, I guess you'd call them, plural, behind that, which is where I have my A5 notes and also have my illustrative tablet. So this will fit up to an 11-inch tablet in there, which is brilliant. And then behind there you then have a padded laptop sleeve. The laptop sleeve on this will fit up to a 16-inch laptop. I have a 16-inch laptop, which is what I take into the studio when I go in. It fits in there perfectly. Also happy to announce here on the bottom, if you can see this seam, this is the bottom of the laptop sleeve and this is the bottom of the actual backpack itself. There is a good inch to an inch and a half clearance. So again, if you're commuting, if you're traveling and you're concerned about your laptop taking bumps whilst you are commuting, it gives a good bit of clearance so that if this is dropped, it will protect your laptop. Just as an extra point, I thought didn't think about this, the bag won't self-stand. If you look at it from this side, the back is incredibly flat and the front leans out and there's no kind of right angle shelf here. You can kind of self-stand it, however it's more of a balancing act rather than some packs that you can literally just put down and they self-stand. That could either be an advantage or a disadvantage, more of a, as what was I usually say, more of an observation. Now coming back to the rear, the back panel itself is really nice on this. I'll show you some close-ups here, but the mesh on the inside has these really large perforations on there. Does a very good job. As I mentioned, I took this away with me. Whilst we were walking some days, it was getting up to say 34, 35 degrees, which is way too hot for me. Did not stop me sweating, however, did allow that air to circulate so that I could feel comfortable all day whilst we were out. in the back of the, so where your padding is, it goes down either side of your spine, and then you have a gully here through the middle, one that also helps to circulate some of that air, but it also means that there is a strap through here, so if you want to attach this, or you've got some luggage with a handle, you can pass that through here, and then you can relieve your shoulders because you can just pull it around like that instead. The straps on this, are really nice. They're very thin, and it's deceiving. They shouldn't be as comfortable as they are. They're also ergonomically shaped as well, so when it's on, it feels really nice when it's on. It uses the same perforated padding that's in the back here, which has that kind of Goldilocks effect to it. Not too firm, not too soft, it's just right. When it's on, as you'd expect, it carries really nicely. There is a sternum strap on here, which is quite nice. It has one of those little whistles on it, but if you want to remove the sternum strap, you can, rather than having a sliders, which are all right, but yeah, they have their issues. This has ladders, so here there is like a daisy chain on here with some webbing. So if you want to take these off, you just pass it through, pull it back again, and then pass it through again, and it just kind of pinches in. So if you want to adjust these, you can do. If you want to take it off, you can do, and you know, you're good for the day. But other than that though, it carries very well. The Cooperative Bell X-Type is an incredibly feature-rich bag. It really is. It's a bag nerd's dream. And for essentially a smaller EDC commuter style bag, and I know 20 litres certainly isn't small on the grand scheme of things, but when you're looking at EDC commutable bags, 20 to 25 is kind of your sweet spot. I know I tend to usually go for a little bit more than that, mainly because I'm just a hound and I carry way too much. Well, there you go, I said it, I always carry way too much. But it's on the smaller side of that, but it's incredibly deceiving because of that 17 to 20 litres and the way in which you can open that up. And I think some of the pockets and the way that they've arranged the pockets, and again some of the other features that are on here, it's deceiving how much you can actually fit into this. But then when you take the stuff out of it, you roll that front down, you cinch it in, then you've just got this really nice small 17 litre commuter pack that you can take to work. You can go into the office, you can jump on your bike, cycle in, you can come out into the wilderness like this and have enough to be able to do whatever it is that you need to do. I think as a crossover bag, it also works exceptionally good for that. I've done a lot of walks with this. The last weekend we went to the Three Shires Head and I walked with it there as well, and it performed like a trooper. It was an incredibly hot day that day as well, and with circulation in that kind of perforations that you get on the back. I honestly could talk about this pack all day because every single time you open it, you find, I mean, I've gone through all of the features on here, but you kind of remember that, oh, this pocket does this, and oh, I can get into this section this way. That saved me a little bit of time because I don't have to undo this, and there's a lot to talk about. But hopefully you'll have seen from my enthusiasm on this pack how excited I do get. My bag geekery cup overfloweth when it comes to packs like this. Oh, I forgot to mention, on the sternum strap, it's got another one of those little things so that if you want to make sure that all of your straps out of the way, so it's, if it's a windy day, it's not blowing in your face. Yeah, it does that as well. So yes, absolutely love this pack. Now, full disclosure, I did mention at the beginning of this that this has been sent to me from Cooperative Bell. I do have a good relationship with them. If it was that I didn't like this pack, then you would either not see this content, or I would tell you the bits that I don't like about it, but there isn't any. If there was anything that I would change, it would be nice if it was 25 litres, maybe 20 litres and opens out to 25. That would have been cool. But again, that's just me. I know I'm a hound. I know I overpack things. I know I take way too much out with me when I don't need to. So that's a Randy thing. That's not a pack thing. That's kind of something that I need to work on. Stop taking so much stuff out with you. Don't bring your daughters along that make you carry all of their stuff. That's another video for another day. But anyway, I do want to say a huge thank you to Code of Bell for sending this to me. You guys rock, and I'm looking forward to future collaborations with you guys. Now, of course, I'll leave all of their links below so that you can see more from them. I'll also leave some of my social media links here on Moorlander EDC and my sister channel, Moorlander Tactical. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Hi, I'm the Moorlander, and I've got an itchy nose. The EDC out in the wilderness of the Kingdom of the Moorlands with my favouriteest piece of content ever, and we are all end of the EDC spectrum for bags. Just make sure I add that extra little bit on there. Bags for EDC generally tend to burped. Well, it actually was a hiccup, but turned into a burp. Round the rugged rock, the rugged rascal ran. She sells seashells on the seashore. Today's question. There's a lot to this pack. Just out of interest, if you could add something to it, a feature that was missing, what would you add? Or if there's a feature on here that you're just a bit like, what would you remove? That's a good question. That's a cracking question, Randy. That is a very good question. Yes. And on that note, I hope you're all having a good week. I'm not sure what day this is coming out. I've got a few things planned. I'm filming several pieces of content today. But yeah, whatever day of the week it is, I hope you are all good and healthy and well. I will see you soon. Yes. Go on. You can go now. I promise. Bye.